although a man will have the need to express who he is, what he may find is that it is normal for him to play a role, and a big part of this role can be to please others, and to please his mother in particular. And so when he is around others, he could create the impression that he is selfless, so that he doesn't have needs, and he can be only too happy to be there for others. And other people could provide him with a lot of approval. Even his mother could do this, or she could just simply expect and feel entitled to his support and his attention. But regardless of if he does or doesn't receive a lot of approval, he is going to be out of touch with himself. So when he is around others, he will lose touch with his needs and feelings. So his true self will be in hiding. It won't see the light of day. And so when he is by himself, he may often feel down and depressed, but he may do his best to cover up how he feels and to maintain the role that he plays. And one way of looking at this would be to say that when he is around others, he will be expressing his false self. And this false self will dominate and control and outmuscle his true self. And if he was to imagine expressing who he is around others, he may feel guilty and ashamed, and he could get anxious and fearful. And so he is going to experience a fair amount of inner conflict, because a part of him will naturally want to express himself so that he can live a great life, a life that is generally in alignment with who he is. But another part of him, an even stronger part, will have the need to please others and to do what they want and what he thinks they want. And what this can show is that during his early years, he had to fulfill most of his mother's adult and unmet childhood needs. And so instead of her being there for him, he would have had to have been there for her. So he would have been more like a parent than a child that needed her love and nurturance to grow and develop, and to develop a strong sense of self, to feel comfortable with his needs and feelings, and to be comfortable with who he is. And so that now that he is an adult, he will be playing the same role that he had to play to survive very early on, because if he didn't tune into his mother's needs and do what she wanted, he may have been disapproved of, punished, and or abandoned. And so deep down he won't feel safe to reveal his true self, because he will believe that there is something wrong with his needs and who he is. And so he will believe that in order for him to survive, he needs to continue to express his false self. If his false self doesn't receive the approval that it needs, he will die. That's what he will believe. And this shows that although many years would have passed since he was dependent on his mother and needed her to survive, he will still be in this state. A big part of him will still believe that he needs her approval to survive. This won't have been something that was internalized. And so he is likely to be carrying a lot of limiting beliefs and a lot of trauma. And this is why he won't be an interdependent human being. He will still be in this symbiotic state. So he will look like a man, but he will feel very much like a boy, a dependent, powerless boy deep down. And so if you can relate to this, and you can see that it is very difficult, if not impossible, for you to reveal your true self, then you may need to reach out for external support from a therapist or a healer, so that you can start to express who you are, so this feels safe, because you are not here to be an extension of anyone else, or your mother in particular. You are here to live your own life. So please reach out for the support that you need to live a life that is worth living.